Excellent. Look at us. Beautiful. Okay, today we talk a little bit about the Three of Swords that we saw in the story, but also other things, and we're going to pull a few cards to see how things are going, and we're going to answer some questions. So, okay. Okay, wonderful. We see they already tips and tutorials joined. Welcome. And okay, who's coming on YouTube? Are you guys ready? We have a very particular card that we're going to talk about today. So there is it's kind of like a scary card, and sometimes people get very nervous when they see it. A lot of times is referred to as a card for breakups and situations like that. So that what comes up most of the time. However, when I did my meditation today about it, this is one of the cards of the day that came up and for today. So I did a meditation about it, and I wanted to find more about the meanings, the underlying situations that relate to the Three of Swords. Hi, Shi, good to see you on YouTube. So, guys, welcome. Hi. Okay, 1 second. We are talking first about the Three of Swords, and then we're going to answer a few questions, okay? So stay there. You can ask your question right now if you want. User 269157, and then we are going to get to your question. Okay, so Three of Swords, card of breakups, card of heartbreaks, card that is usually referring to separations. And here it is in this very dramatic depiction in the, hi Angelina, in the Rider-Waite deck. This is a very, very strong card, very hard. You know, three swords piercing, stab in a heart. Wow, Alan Martinez, good to see you. Super, super hard. There's a, you know, a storm going on, dark clouds, rain. Wow, all bad feelings all around. Now, one thing about this card, yes, it can definitely talk about breakups and heartbreaks and sad things. However, what I was finding in my meditation today is that this card also tells us that we need to separate us from specific issues, from specific situations, specific people, specific places and things and habits. So something to really pay attention to. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be a sad thing. It can be a hard things to do for sure, but it may be something that we need to do because otherwise we don't progress, we don't improve, our life is not going to get better. So one thing that I really wanted to stress today, the Three of Swords, definitely this is in the Marseille deck, a little bit of a different depiction, more stylized, but definitely same strong energy. So when this card comes up, a lot of people get scared, nervous, a lot of tension, they feel a lot of tensions, and they immediately get sad. I would like to point out that this card, yes, can be a little bit hard, but it doesn't necessarily have to mean a bad thing. It may just mean that we need to separate us from a particular situation, place, or person that is actually damaging us. So it could be something that is a little bit of a push to move us in the right direction where we actually need to go. So this is like a first summary, then we're going to move on. But before we move on, I wanted to remind everybody to subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already, because there is going to be some specific content going out only for the subscribers there once we reach a certain number. We are quite far from there yet, but we can do it. And I believe in you. You can definitely make that happen. There's over 1,000 people following on TikTok. If you all jump on YouTube as well, that's going to take 2 seconds to do. So let's do that, okay? Now, you want to be on the mailing list as well because it goes out only once a month and it is full of VIP content, rates, suggestions, materials and beautiful things. That's only going out once a month, and it's only for the subscribers to the mailing list. So you want to be there. Also, how do you do that? You just go on my website, tarotofnewyork.com, and click on contact, and send me a message. Empty, it doesn't matter. Whatever you want to say, hello, subscribe, anything like that, and I will add you to the mailing list. Hi, Party Poison. Good to see you. I love your stage name. Let's call it that. So today we were talking about this very stressful card, the Three of Swords. Wow. When I saw it, and one thing that I wanted to point out, somebody send me a message that I always bring out positive cards, always positive energies. And they were asking, do you ever pull a negative card? Today. You're welcome. Three of Swords. This is kind of like a stressful one. However, the one thing that I was talking about a few seconds ago is that yes, in love readings, this is definitely not a good sign. It's usually meaning of separation, heartbreak, bad feelings, not positive outcomes. However, if we think about it this way, this is also an indication that we need to separate ourselves from a person, a situation, or a place, or a habit in order for us to move forward, to move to a better condition, to a better situation, to a better feel in our life, so a better energy. So it may be just that we need a little bit of a push in a certain direction. And so that's why this card comes up a lot of times. Hi, good to see you. I can't really read your name, but it's good to see you. So do you have any questions about this card? I thought that this was important today, talking about it. Hi, Leslie. Talking about it because, when it doesn't come often that I put it in the stories. Also, if you follow on Instagram, you probably saw this in the stories as well today. And that's where all the questions came. Do you have any additional question about this card, or should we move on to other questions? Let's see. Couple more seconds. Any question about the Three of Swords? Good. Okay, so moving on. There was a question before from, let me get it. Okay, user 279157. If you're still there, we are going to find out about this ex-boyfriend for a second. Let's see. So think about if you have any questions that you want to talk about. I'm going to be here for another few minutes before I jump on calls with my clients, but I wanted you to come here and talk about the Three of Swords because I feel it's important. There's a lot of misconception there, and at the very least, a lot of people just consider only one aspect of that card. Okay, your ex-boyfriend. Ooh, the Temperance card. This is a positive card, so there is definitely a comeback. There is definitely a getting back in touch. However, what happens with the Temperance? Even if the outcome is positive and the answer is yes, this card indicates it's going to take some time. There's issues that need to be resolved, and they are going to take some time. As you mentioned, when we have the Angel of Temperance, it's a good sign of protection, of good energy, positivity, but it's also a card that indicates, it takes time. We may want to have a much faster resolution to the issue, but sometimes it's just how it is. The energy in the universe needs to work its process, and we need to give it time to do so. Otherwise, the outcome will not come out the way that is better for us. So yes, the answer over there is yes, but it's going to take some time. Hi, Christine. Good to see you. Good to see you all joining in. And so that was a question that we had before. Let me remind you to subscribe to the YouTube channel before we move on to the next. important content is coming up only for the subscribers. Once we reach a certain number, we are still far from it. So I'm urging you to just go ahead and do it. There's over 1,000 followers here on TikTok. If you all subscribe to the YouTube channel, we are going to get to that golden opportunity in super fast time. So go ahead, it's up to you. Then a reminder to subscribe to the mailing list because it goes out only once a month and it is full of VIP content, rates, suggestions and materials only for the mailing list subscribers. How do you do that? Go to my website, taroofnewyork.com. Click on the link right there in my profile on TikTok. You are going to go there right away and send me a message, see contact, send like an empty message, say hello, say subscribe, ask a question. If you have a question, send me an email. I will be happy to really look into that for you. Okay, so go ahead and do that. Once you do that, you will be subscribed to the mailing list, and every month, once a month, no more than that, you're going to get all the good stuff. So that's for the housekeeping topics and reminders. Let's summarize for a moment again what we were talking about today. Three of Swords, strong, stressful, difficult card to handle. A card that, since I do a lot of love readings, it is a card that usually represents a separation, a heartbreak, a breakup, in general, a bad energy, but it can also, and many times in general in our life, it's a push for us to let go of particular situations or particular people that are holding us back or that are blocking our energy to move forward, to improve ourselves, to be better, to be happier. So it's not necessarily a bad thing. It could be stressful for sure, not easy, but it's not necessarily bad. Hi, Me2420, good to see you. So remember that when this card comes up in a reading, don't be afraid, don't be stressed, don't feel bad. It could be something that you need to do you haven't thought about yet, or maybe you are reluctant to do. That happens a lot. So maybe it's just you need a little bit of a push in the right direction for you to let go and really understand that the situations that you are in is not a positive one, and you just need to move on, move forward, let go, separate yourself. And in order for you to many forms, sometimes we need to go through a rough patch, a rough decision, a rough separation, and that's okay. That's just part of life. It's never always good. It's never always good energy. And I find interesting that a person made a comment that in my stories on Instagram, especially, I always very often pull up positive cards or empowering cards or encouraging cards. And they made this comment, do you ever get a negative card? Well, today is the day. So I wanted to really come here and talk about it because I feel it's important, not just because to prove this person that, yes, I do actually pull negative cards sometimes, but also because it's not necessarily a negative situations that we're dealing with. It's stressful, but it can lead us to a much better outcome. So, okay, that's for the Three of Swords for now. We have another question. Hi, Jalila90. So first of all, I'm going to get to that in a second, to your questions, but let me remind you, you need to subscribe to the channel over here, like the video, and when you have a second, subscribe to the mailing list because there is going to be, it goes out only once a month, and it has a lot of content, special things and special rates and special materials just for the subscribers. So you want to be there. It goes out only once a month, so and it's just the best thing just to be there. Also, once we get to a certain number of subscribers on YouTube, we are going to have special content just for the subscribers. So you want to be subscribed over there. So Jalila, Omar, how long have you known him? Let's see what we can find out about him. Wow, Page of Wands. So Page of Wands, nice card overall. This is a pretty positive energy. Fire, we like to see fire, especially when there's a person that we're interested in. Is not anything romantic, I would say, but it's definitely positive, and it's definitely 3 months. Thank you so much. So let's talk about this Page of Wands for a second. You know, it may not be romantic energy just yet, but it's fire, and fire is good because it means an interest. It means desire for action, desire to get to know you better, to hang around you more, spend more time with you. Also, it's a page. Page is a pretty positive energy. It's a start. It's a fresh energy. It's a good one for new beginnings, for things that start and can develop in a very strong. It could develop in a relationship even, but definitely very good start. So I think that 3 months is not a long time, but it's definitely, you are definitely starting with the right in the right place to develop in a much more even romantic situation. So I do like to see this. Yeah, you and Omar are going to have a good time together. So at the very least, there's very good friends. But I expect that to develop into something more. You need to work on it a little bit, though. I know. Good to see you on TikTok. And so let's see. Do we have any other questions about the card of the day? That was the Three of Swords, or any other question before I proceed? So I have some clients coming up in a little bit, so I'm gonna. Okay, good to see that you're still with us. Denver, okay. How long have you known Denver? Hello, East Harlem on TikTok. Good to see you there. And guys, remember to subscribe, okay? We are doing this because we want to reach a certain number to release all the amazing content just for the subscribers. No communication there. Okay. Let's see. Oh, man. So, Two of Swords. Two of Swords, I'm going to show you. If I find it in the other deck too, that's going to give you like a major wake-up call there. Two of Swords is definitely not a good sign. Is a card for stress, is a card for things not moving, is a card for blocked energy. When we have an even number like that, especially in the beginning, there is the energy is quite blocked, not a lot going on, but especially the Two of Swords. And when we have swords, let me remind you, is as usually a sign of trouble or some difficulty. Here it is. I found it on the Rider-Waite deck. See, blindfold the person with swords, no moving whatsoever. So I would say that Denver is not thinking about you at this time. Probably focusing on something else, but definitely not a connection between you two. So I'm not surprised that there's been no communication and silence right there. So it may actually be an opportunity for you to, focus your energy and your emotion on somebody else that deserves it more. So hope this helps. Okay, guys, okay, we have time for one more. We have time for one more before we recap. So do you have any more questions about... You're welcome. Good to see you. And if you want, remember to subscribe to the mailing list so you can get the monthly content as well. I'm sure you're going to enjoy it. Okay, we are about to recap for the day. Any more questions? Today we talk about the Three of Swords. Tough card. Tough card for sure, but not a bad one overall. Okay, guys, it seems like we are ready to Also, let me remind you, Three of Swords, cards for separation, heartbreaks, difficult feelings, hard days sometimes, but also an invitation, a reminder that sometimes we need to separate ourselves from situations, people, habits, that are detrimental to us, that are not good for us, that we need to let go for us to move to a more positive energy, to a more positive outcome, to a more positive and happy life. So don't be afraid when the Three of Swords comes up in a reading. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It can be a hard thing. Definitely it can be hard news to see, and sometimes we don't want to get those hard news, but it can definitely be something that we need to see, because we need to make a move that we are reluctant to do, but that in the end is going to be good for us. So, hey Random, hi, born in Alabama, good to see you guys. You joined actually just towards the end, and we just did the recap for the day. We talked about the Three of Swords. We answered a few questions, and now I actually have to get to a client. So I thank you all very much for being here. Stay tuned for in the next few days. There's going to be more lives. I think there's going to be one tomorrow, so you want to pay attention to that. There's another interesting card coming up tomorrow, and I will answer your questions as well for tomorrow. Today, we are checking out. Just a reminder to subscribe to the YouTube channel and the mailing list for all the new material that is going up only for the subscriber. So thank you all so much for being here with me today, and I wish you all the best for a wonderful rest of the day. See you next time.